Hey guys, what's going on? I got some gauges in, some new gauges I ordered from Power Driven Diesel. I've been needing a new fuel pressure gauge and boost pressure gauge for my cluster I built up here in the middle of the dash. The $20 boost and oil pressure gauge from Bosch just aren't going to cut it anymore. So I'll show you what I got and why. So this is the old stuff, and you've seen this before. I was using an oil pressure gauge for my fuel pressure, which worked fine on the multi-fuel, and of course my pyrometer it's kind of iffy, but it's working for now, so I'm gonna leave it. That'll be another expense later, and of course the boost gauge. And I don't think 20 psi is going to be enough to register for what this Cummins is going to do. I really have no idea what it's doing, but we're going to find out. So I ordered a boost pressure gauge and a fuel pressure gauge. The fuel pressure gauge and sender has not come in yet. It ships separately. It will be in tomorrow. But what I got is, and once again, I ordered this all from Power Driven Diesel. This boost gauge, 50 psi boost gauge, mechanical, was $58. And it's an Isspro, so it's a quality gauge. And the reason I wanted to go with this most of all is the shape of the bezel. It's the same as our original military gauges. So, see there? All I had to do is tape this up and paint it green, put it in the cluster there, and good to go. And the electronic, I ordered an electronic fuel pressure gauge because I don't want fuel plumbed in here anymore. I've already had a couple of small drips, leaks from it there before, and it's just, you don't want fuel in your cab if you can help it, because eventually the lines will bust, right? So ordered electric. It will go, actually I'm probably going to put the boost gauge here and the fuel pressure there. I'm going to reverse them because of the hole cut in the dash. It had to make a hard 90 off the back of the pressure gauge here, and I don't want that anymore. It'll be a straighter shot from here there with the hose. And then the electric gauge over here, it's just a wire, so it doesn't matter if it makes a hard turn. But it's the same bezel and same numbers and all, but white needle, white pointer on the electric fuel pressure gauge. So that's the part number if you want that boost gauge, which will be the 50 psi. Okay, that's going to cover any multi-fuel satisfactorily. You really don't want to go above 12 pounds on most multi-fuels, depending on the turbo and fuel settings and all. Max of 20 pounds on an LDS with the right turbo, and even then you're in dangerous waters. So that's more than enough to cover any of your needs. And if you do a Cummins swap, it will also cover it. Now the other stuff we got here is the plumbing kit for it, which, yes, I could get this all locally, but it was just a lot easier to just throw it in the cart, and it comes with the Parker Hannifin good airline and the little connectors, the whole set. So got everything I need there, because the gauge comes just the gauge. There is nothing, they don't even give you the connector that goes on the back of it. They give you the light, 12 volt light, but nothing else. So that's why it's $58. So we got that, and of course it costs more than it should have, but you pay for convenience, right? And then the other thing I got is this is a fuel pressure snubber. This is also from Isspro, and there's your part number if you order this from Power Driven Diesel. And what this does, basically, you need this. You won't need this for a multi-fuel ever. You can just plumb your fuel pressure gauge, whether you've got a manual or an electronic. You can plumb it right into your fuel system wherever you want, and you won't need to worry about this. What this does is it takes the pulsation out of your pressure readings in any system. This actually has a piston for oil pressure, fuel pressure, and air pressure, a different piston for each one. So if you've got, I don't know, some kind of compound turbos that cause fluctuations of pressure, you can use that, or oil pressure with some kind of different pump, or in this case the Cummins engines with the manual lift pump on the side of the block, they're a piston pump. So every time it pumps, you get a pressure spike, and the needle just jumps around on the gauge, so you never get an accurate reading unless you have this, which is a piston and I guess a metered orifice that takes that fluctuation out and just gives you an accurate pressure reading. So I'll need that with this Cummins. You won't need this with a multi-fuel, but I think this little thing was like $50. So anyway, I will probably show you the rest of it when it's installed, the fuel pressure gauge and all. It's going to come out nice because they are all got to be painted to match, except this. I'm going to leave that alone because the bezel is not the same anyway. But I did find a Pyro that has the same bezel. It's different. It doesn't have the digital reading and all that. But yeah, I don't need the digital reading and the analog. So I just wanted to show you that real quick, guys. Appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe. Be sure to check out our sponsors. As always, they are listed in the description below the video. And we'll see you next time. Later.